know he'd love this game. It's going to be very physical, and I agree with Tez. Henderson and Clark, the two hookers on the day, they'll have a big impact. Really looking forward to seeing how Warrington, with three runners of the ball, Russell, O'Brien and Wheeler as their pivots, are going to go up against Morgan Escaret, who's a dynamic runner of the ball, and the geniuses of Carney and Giroud.
Todd Carney, first appearance, he's had this calf injury that kept him out from the first two games of the season. There'll be big things expected of him. Is it too much to expect him and Giroud, there you see Scott Giroud, to form this partnership straight away?
I think that he's always had pressure put on his shoulders because he's that good of a player. So to come down and play in the Super League, play in the south of France, you see Pelissier going up, shaking all his teammates' hand. He doesn't make this game because of his suspension. But I look at the sides, I look at what Catalan have got on the bench. They've got four prop forwards. They know that Warrington had a very tough game last week, and I'm sure they want to keep it tight, play in the middle third and batter Warrington into submission.
The sun is shining. The temperature, as we've mentioned, is very pleasant. And the sort of conditions that Catalan Dragons are likely to thrive in. Ben Thaler, the referee. So the Catalan Dragons will have to watch their P's and Q's, which they tend not to do at times. Tony Smith looking to continue this great record in recent history that the Warrington Wolves have got against the Catalan Dragons. As we are underway at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. First touch of the ball for the Wolves. And here is Ashton Sims, looking to hang on to that one.
Well, the last two visits down to the south of France for Tony Smith's men, they've come away as winners, but it's only been a 2-point victory. And as I say, they've always been tough encounters. That man, Chris Hill, he made 123 metres last week against St George, but 43 tackles. So they've got the forwards, they've got the firepower up front. They need to control their emotions.
Well, the Warrington Wolves have won their last 6 League and Cup meetings against Catalan since 2012. They do very well in the south of France. You have to go back to 2012, in fact, for a Catalan win in this fixture. That was when Steve Menzies got a couple of tries, and that was a big Catalan win, 44-16. Escaret, Warrington will be making sure they keep a tight rein on him.
A good first set by the Wolves, nice and simple, got to the kick. Clean chase as well. They'll be wanting to keep this defensive set nice and clean and just get into the arm wrestle a little bit. We saw last night when St Helens were playing, it's the top 3 inches that tells everything else what to do, and if they can engage into this game, get into the grind, they'll forget about how sore they are.
Here is the Catalan captain, Greg Muniz. No Remy Casti, his co-captain on the field. Louis Anderson, once a Warrington Wolf, playing in the prop role, but he's done that very comfortably. Louis Anderson seems to thrive in that position almost.
Well, just too much on that kick from Scott Giroud. Very good play, the ball from Louis Anderson. He spotted Darryl Clark in front of him, leg tackle, it comes up with a... Well, they come up with a good shot here. But too much weight on that kick, and as I say, Louis Anderson, he's got the footwork, they've got the strength, they've got the power.
And that's exactly why he's in the front row. He's got that good late footwork that evades defenders. Very often when you're taking those carries as a front row, you've got 2-3 defenders in front of you. If you can win that tackle, then you get a good, clean, quick play of the ball.
Here is Chris Bridge, starting for the Warrington Wolves in Perpignan. Made his first appearance of the season against St George last week off the bench. Laithwaite becoming a familiar figure in that second row role, James Laithwaite. Ben Westwood plays the ball. Darryl Clark, kick off the outside of the boots from O'Brien, but Escaret just looking. Was that elbow high?
Yeah.
Was that elbow high, Stuart?
Well, it certainly looked like it went up in that area. Whether it was deliberate or not, I don't know, but it certainly seemed to make contact.
Not known for his spikiness, the fullback. Here is the man picked out by Terry earlier on, Zeb Taylor.
He copped a bit, if you remember back to that Castleford game. 1 or 2 challenges left him on the deck, and he's a good returner of the ball. And the back division, Oldfield, Duport, Escaret, you have to be on your mettle.
Is Escaret getting his retaliation in first? Kevin Penny operating in the full-back role, named on the wing, but had a cracking game against St George Illawarra, despite that high tackle on him, which he somehow survived.
I think it was quality. He jumped straight back up, and we were saying last night on warm-up, his sheer enthusiasm for the game is what makes him so exciting. He gives his teammates a real lift. Anytime there was a mistake, or any time they do something well, he's the first to congratulate them.
Matty Russell it was playing the ball, who was named at full back, and the roles changing as Darryl Clark sets off. Customary scamper from the Wolves' big name signing.
Well, that's what he didn't have last week in the first half in particular. He didn't have any quick play the balls to get out from dummy half.
Chris Hill, good set this for the Warrington Wolves. Gareth O'Brien calling the shots. Here he is now, across the field with Wheeler. Wheeler gets the pass away, but straight into the arms of Vincent Dupont. Telegraphed a bit, that one.
Well, Gary Wheeler chose to take the risk and the gamble. Gave possession away to Catalan, skirting across the line. Perhaps not the best option when you're responsible for those last play.
Zeb Tyre going across the field, and now then referee says there was a obstruction there.
No, it's just the knock on, Bill.
Is it?
Yeah, just the knock on.
Well, there's Gary Wheeler. Has too many decisions to make almost. And that's the experience when you're an out-and-out halfback. Those are the things that you look at, you assess, you make a judgment, and you make the right call when you've got the right experience.
Already the players feeling the warmth there.
Wait there, please. Stay on. Ben.
Mid-teens in the temperatures.
Wait there. Gaz. Stay on, boys. Ben. Okay, Gareth. Out.
Warrington's head and feed. Here is Clark.
One. Move in.
Ryan Atkins.
Hold it. Go, Elliot.
Great try against St George Illawarra Dragons in that World Club Series game that helped Warrington push the NRL side all the way.
Well, Warrington just choosing the first few players to just keep it tight. Then they look to play. Kevin Penny out the back.
Penny jinks back in field. Goes to ground. 3 tackles gone. Here is Chris Hill. Tackled by Jeff Lima and Louis Anderson. Put on his back. Clark. O'Brien now. Wheeler, but Wheeler stopped in his tracks. The ball's gone to ground. And disappointing end to the sets from the Warrington point of view.
Well, Warrington, they overloaded the right edge, and Catalan had the numbers. Maybe the ball was coming back to the left side, and Gary Wheeler, well, that pass was telegraphed.
Time off.
It was Todd Carney that made.
On the line, boys. Tidy in the ruck, guys. Keep it going.
Great tackle and upended Gary Wheeler.
Warrington will be frustrated with that. They got themselves into a good position.
Well, if you're going to go one side and you're going to go at the line, you've got to make sure that that second player, which was Gary Wheeler on that occasion, he's got to have some depth. You could see that as soon as he goes to catch that ball, he's put under pressure.
Warrington's biggest test so far this season, this game in Perpignan, with wins over Salford and Hull so far. Mind you, the Salford one was tough. Salford really came to the Hallowell Jones for round 1 looking to spring a surprise. They put a lot into that game. Catalan get the penalty.
Well, Chris Hill's claiming that his hand or arm was trapped in. Henderson, I'd be inclined to believe Chris Hill.
Well, even so, Ben Thaler's point is that, you know, if your hand is trapped in, he's going to allow you time to get out, but you can't use his head as a lever or whatever he's doing with his head there, and that's what the penalty's for.
The RFL hierarchy in Perpignan for this one. Nigel Wood among the crowds as Catalan, from that penalty, encroach on Warrington's defensive zone. Muniz gets the pass away. Anderson waits patiently for it to come. There was a Warrington hand in there. The referees wipe the tackle count clean. Pressure on the Wolves' defence now. Warrington having to defend their line. Henderson is driven back. Sorry for the loss of pictures there. Hope that doesn't become too much of an issue. as Todd Carney keeps it simple at the moment, and they get the ball wide and they get the ball over the try line, and Willie Tonga will cross for his first try in Catalan colours, coming off the back of that penalty conceded by Chris Hill, and simplest of moves from the Catalan Dragons side as they moved it to their left, and Willie Tonga alongside Todd Carney, one of the big name signings, showing his worth there.
Well, the execution of the pass from that man, Todd Carney. Well, as soon as he passes that ball, there's no break from Scott Giroux. He doesn't break his stride, he just passes the ball perfectly to Willie Tonga. And if you just look at what the Warrington defenders are doing, they're having a little look at where Todd Carney is, where Scott Giroux are. Nobody on that occasion was having a look where Willie Tonga was.
Had an inauspicious start to his Catalan career when he was flattened after just 12 seconds of that game against St Helens. He's back on his feet now, coming up with his first try for the Dragons, the former Queensland and Kangaroo. And Scott Giroux, who kicked 2 goals in the win over Castleford, and of course the crucial drop goal that separated the two sides. Just sizing up the task ahead of him. Giroux on target, and the first points of the game go to the Dragons of Catalan.
Well, this is terrific pass selection. You watch Todd Carney, tips it onto Scott Giroux, and I believe that Scott Giroux's looked at Warrington, who have a focus on Morgan Escaray out the back, which just gives Willie Tonga half a step, half a second, that's all he needs, and that's his first try for the Dragons.
Is this the dilemma for a defence facing this Catalan lineup? If you've got so many people that you have to focus on.
Every player can burn you, whether it be Todd Carney, Scott Giroux, whether it be Pomeroy or Tonga, and then you've got Morgan Escaray out the back, and if you're focusing on them, you're taking your eyes off what some of the forwards can do.
Meanwhile, you've got Michael Oldfield on the wing, who got 23 tries in his debut season. There's no shortage of firepower.
And you've got those big fellas, those fringe players, Zeb Taylor, Elliot Whitehead. It's the short pass to them, and if your focus is on what's happening out the back and what might happen, then again, that mistake could cost you.
No wonder people say this Catalan side could be worth a shot for the grand final. So could this Warrington side as well. Nobody obstructed, said referee Thaler.
He's not looking rusty so far, is he? I know he's missed the first couple of weeks with a slight tweak. And Kevin Penny returns the ball for Warrington.
Across the field. Oof, crikey, that was heart-stopping moment, I think, for Matty Russell, as that pass drifted towards him, and so did the Catalan defenders.
Well, not only is he a fullback, he's turned into a ball player, and now he's a prop forward, driving it in.
Here is Kevin Penny talking of driving. Lovely to hear him talking about driving a van while he was out of Super League and delivering computer parts around Manchester, and here he is now playing back in Super League.
With his son in the passenger seat. Was he not at school?
It's holiday time.
I hope he didn't call in sick.
Ashton Sims offloads, and it reaches Darryl Clark. It was almost a Hail Mary offload from Sims, but it found Clark, and he found some territory. 4 tackles gone.
Well, he just couldn't get that ball to Gary Wheeler, the man behind the play the ball then.
O'Brien, he undid the St George Illawarra Dragons defence in the World Club Series, looking to do it again on the last now, and Wheeler chip kicks across into the corner. Joel Monaghan goes for it. Vincent Dupont gets there. Monaghan trying to bundle the Catalan winger into touch, can't do so. Escaray.
Well, Gary Wheeler put a kick up, expecting his Warrington teammates to chase it. If you're going with the percentages, that's a good end to the set. Not quite a threat, but Warrington, of course, had Chris Bridge in the centre today. Came back last week against St George. Last year, he was the best halfback that Warrington had.
Carney's gone for a 40-20 here. 20-20 as Stuart Cummins points out. Well, was it short?
Yeah, Ben straight away said it's short. He was calling it all the way through this. This is on the 3rd tackle. It's percentage football for Catalan. Todd Carney kicks it. You can see it doesn't quite make the 20-metre mark. But that's the danger of Todd Carney. An excellent kick from within inside his own 20. He then sets off downfield chasing that ball, and you can see the ball bounces from the second bounce. It doesn't quite go into Warrington's 20. But excellent play.
You'll see Ben Thaler actually followed the line of the ball. He's got the best view of where that ball goes in. So he's made the call of where it went into touch rather than the touch judge.
Still a good kick from Todd Carney and a warning to the Warrington Wolves of what he is capable of. Here is Laithwaite.
Movement! Ready, guys, hold, go.
Darrell Clark now. Ben Westwood ships it on to Ashton Sims. That ball closely grasped to his chest. Quick hands, or too quick, and the ball again goes to ground.
It's just good line speed from Catalan. And it was Scott Giroux on that occasion. They're getting up, they're taking the yards off the big men, the likes of Chris Hill, Ashton Sims. They're not letting them generate any momentum going forward. And you can see Scott Giroux, he was in Gary Wheeler's eye line, and he just took his focus. He lost his concentration for that split second and makes the mistake.
Well, that's Gary Wheeler's third mistake now, and you saw one of his Warrington teammates just pat him on the back. It's important when you're in one of those phases of a game and you can't seem to get things right. You just go back to basics, go back to the fundamentals of the position and the role that you've got, and concentrate and focus on your job.
Gary Wheeler preferred in that position to Richie Myler today, signing during the close season from St Helens. Wheeler, after just 64 appearances in 7 seasons there, had so much ill fortune with injury, hoping that this move to Warrington will improve his appearance rate. The referee says it's back to 0. They'll go for the free play. Oldfield will chase it, but they'll bring him back.
He wasn't far off, was he? It was a mistake. Scott Giroux, he has a little glance to his right. He knows that Michael Oldfield's got an awful lot of pace, and it's a foot race between him and Matty Russell.
I wonder how long it'll be before we see the Catalan kicking game. Todd Carney, he'll know enough about his teammates to know that that's very special for them. High kicks to the corner, 2 expert gatherers of the ball in Oldfield and Duport, and of course we've mentioned many times about Elliot Whitehead and his skill and ability to catch those high kicks.
Todd Carney, of course, a troubled NRL career. Sacked by 3 clubs in that time, or let go by 3 clubs. But here at Catalan to have a second chance, and what a lovely ball, finds Oldfield. Good defence from the fullback Penny, but he could be penalised there for a second attempt perhaps. But Catalan quick play the ball from them. Here is Muniz. Muniz was looking for an offload. Henderson, Lima, 4 in the tackle for the Wolves to stop him. Good defence from Warrington so far. Henderson, as they come down this side, the pass reaches Oldfield, but went forward.
Yeah, Todd Carney over on this right. We saw from that scrum play, they got too many numbers. They overloaded the long side, and it was a wonderful pass to his winger who couldn't capitalise, and maybe a bit of a miscommunication. Elliot Whitehead, I'm sure we'll see that partnership develop, and the space is there outside Atkins, but Elliot Whitehead not reading his teammates, and he's perhaps saying that as well. I thought you wanted me in the next hole. Here's that ball I was talking about, absolutely spot on the money, and Michael Oldfield,
yeah.
sorry, chose to come in and take the tackle and not get bumbled into touch.
Were they lucky to not concede a penalty at the end there?
Well, I think there was definitely a second movement, but I think the touch judge has given him the benefit of the doubt because he ended up playing the ball. Had he gone into touch, I think the penalty would have been awarded.
So Warrington escape that assault by the Dragons and look to build themselves. Haven't really managed to do that. Could do with a penalty to get them up the field, or a good run from Darrell Clark. But a bit like Morgan Escarate, people know what to expect from Darrell Clark now. Maybe be keeping a closer eye on him this season.
It's what comes off the back of what some of his teammates are doing. Darrell Clark, he is a very good player, and things do happen when he gets the ball because his footwork is is fantastic when he gets out of dummy half. Not only has he got brilliant footwork, he's got an excellent offload game as well.
And he's got a good instinct to follow players who are going to offload in good positions for him. He needs to learn the habits, much like we talked about Morgan Escare, doing some extra work in practice after training with Zeb Taylor and Elliot Whitehead, trying to find those offloads that only present themselves when the opportunity arises.
Dragons massed in the middle of the pitch at the moment as Carney puts another kick in. It's another good kick as well, and Kevin Penny racing across can do nothing about that one.
And again, it's on the third play. His teammates go up to congratulate him. It's all about team management. He gets out from dummy half.
And he's inside his own 40, and the ball's this time gone the right side of the 20-metre line, so that gives Catalan head and feet at this next scrum.
Already Todd Carney making an impact for the Dragons.
Well, good players will try that in tackle 1, 2, 3 or 4, and he gets out, as I say, tackle 3, puts that kick in. He knows that you've got to control the ball, you've got to get to your end of your set to 6, because that's what gives you the energy. But when you can kick on the third, that is a confident player and a confident side.
But it's a smart player as well. Everybody's expecting the last tackle kick, and he's just trying to outsmart his opposition. He's doing a great job so far.
The people do talk about the problems that Todd Carney has had, but he did win the Dally M in 2010 and was the standoff of the year in that year as well.
No one's ever doubted his ability as a footballer. Let's hope that he's come over there to Super League. Looking at what he's been doing in the opening 18 minutes, he's here to play.
The Catalan Dragons are here to play as well. They lead by 6 points to 0. Benjamin Garcia is on the field for the Catalan Dragons. There is no Remy Casti for them. Across the field comes Muniz, a weaving run from the Dragons loose forward, and very nearly found his way through the defence. There's a player.
A late challenge, Bill. Ben West.
It's on Scott Giroux, isn't it?
On Scott Giroux, trying to take some time away. And Ben Thaler waving the naughty finger at Ben Westwood. As you'll see, he's trying to take some time, put some pressure on, yeah, but that was just a tad too late.
And from behind as well.
It's pretty late, isn't it? He wanted him to know he's around.
I think he knows now, Stuart.
It's hard not to know that Benny Westwood's around when he's out on the field. Wholehearted contributor, just a bit too forceful there for the Warrington Wolves, catching Scott Giroux from behind. I wonder whether that might not be the last we hear of that one, but another penalty. They paid the price last time. Might they do so again this time? Zeb Taylor, always a threat, almost away then. Tackled by Bridge. Henderson goes down the short side. Morgan Escare. Monaghan gets a hold of him at the second time. Joel Monaghan on the field. His brother Michael coaching now for the Catalan Dragons, of course. Giroux, little grubber kick. They'll all chase it. It'll just beat Carney.
Well, Todd Carney, not only the creator, but he's obviously the mopping up, doing all the little things as well. Scott Giroux places the kick, sticks it in the middle of the park, and just too much weight on it for Todd Carney to get there. But I like the way that Catalan are playing. They're throwing the ball, they're playing side to side, but when they need to play it tough, they'll play it tough.
And I tell you who else is having a good game, Ben Thaler. Stuart, we were talking, it's a commonly held belief in sport that 10,000 hours is how long and the time it takes you to become an expert in any given field. And in sport, it's 10,000 hours. How would a referee replicate that?
Well, it's very difficult because, you know, the only real practice they can get is refereeing. You can do drills, you can do all sorts of things in practice, but it's actually out on the field and getting the pace of the game that you need. So it's difficult, but you know, certainly with Ben Thaler, he's been refereeing since he was about 12 years old, so he's probably getting towards 10,000 hours now.
Here is Kevin Penny for the Warrington Wolves, who will look at that scoreboard and think, well, 20 minutes gone, only the one try conceded. Catalan always start ferociously as Joel Monaghan gets the ball back. Escare will pick it up, but this time he's facing the wrong try line. If he'd been facing the Warrington line, that could have been problems for the Wolves, but he had to turn around to retrieve the ball.
Do you know, but isn't he one of the best, Joel Monaghan? So many times we see wingers go up, they'll offload the ball. Well, here's Darryl Clark.
Zeb Taylor lost the ball. Referee says play on.
But just have a little look at what Joel Monaghan, he's the go-to man when they kick. He gets up, he focuses on catching that ball, and he's in control.
Ashton Sims dumped to the ground, but That reckless offload really from Zeb Taylor has given the Wolves some opportunity here. Here's Laithwaite. Todd Carney low down with the tackle. Jason Bateri on there up top. Here's Sims now. Breathing hard.
Working hard as well, Bill. A lot of workload in that man.
Right in front of those posts. Wheeler's short pass. Chris Hill is over the line. Has Chris Hill got that down?
I don't think he has, Bill.
Great work from Escaré. If he's denied him, he's held up, says the referee. What work from the fullback.
He's done a fantastic job there, because he's a big man, Chris Hill. Very powerful. He hasn't got into a show of strength to try and push him back over the line. He's just clung onto the ball and the man. That's superb work.
Chris Hill, he must be 113 kilos. You can see the strength of Morgan Escaré. He clamps onto that ball. Chris Hill's still trying to turn. He's still trying to get that ball down. But Morgan Escaré has got a vice-like grip on him.
And that's on the last, that's the turnover. Well, what a survival that is from the Catalan Dragons when it looked as though Warrington were going to get over the line. Well, they did get over the line.
Well, they did, but they just couldn't get that ball down. But choosing to run that play, or run the set out there, turn the ball over, what a good position to turn the ball over here, just 10 metres from Catalan's line.
Here is Benjamin Garcia. Had a big season last year, the young prop. And Catalan leading by 6 points to 0. A try scored by Willie Tonga. Jason Bateri making his 100th Dragons appearance in this game as he plays that ball. Henderson. Lima's still out there. That's the 5th. And it's Giroud who put the kick in. He's charged down. And Ben Harrison will get to it first, but he's lost it. And the referee says the tackle counts. Well, it's a free play, in fact, I think. And here is Willie Tonga.
Yeah, Ben Harrison chose to put pressure on the kicker. He was in a position to pick it up, but just failed to do so. Catalan are in good ball now. What can they do?
So here is Zeb Taylor, and they had Catalan on the back foot under a bit of pressure. It was a good kick charge down. Seen Scott Giroud been closed down a number of times before.
Well, you've got to close down the playmakers on the opposition. Whoever makes it happen, like to this man, Henderson, short little pass to Zeb Taylor.
3 tackles gone. Here is Henderson. Giroud, quick hands. Offload from Whitehead, good defence by the Wolves. Great work. It was Gareth O'Brien quickly off his line to make the tackle. They've got the numbers here. Oldfield is the number 5, and he's in for his first try of the season. And Warrington Wolves, well, they'll be furious with themselves. They had a really good patch. They come up with the error, and then Catalan come up with a try.
They will be, but Catalan will be delighted. No short amount of skill in Scott Giroud. He faked open, faked to the left, went to the right, created the extra man. That's a quality finish as well. Darryl Clark gets out to put pressure on Elliot Whitehead, but then that created a 2-on-1 situation. And Michael Oldfield doesn't often mess those up. And the centre and winger just sharing a joke. They're in a relaxed state now, and those demons, those voices in the minds of the Warrington players might just get a little bit louder now. 10 points behind, a one-handed finish and a beautiful dive. I'll give him 9.2.
Makinson-esque finish from Michael Oldfield there, but we saw quite a number of those from him last season when he got 23 tries in a great debut season for the Dragons. That's his first of this season. Former Manly and Sydney Roosters man. And Scott Giroud, good to see him back in action after all the health issues he's had to contend with. Missed a great chunk of action, having been ever present in 2012, just a handful of appearances, 10 in 2 seasons after that. But he's back, he's fit, and he's looking to add the extras here. Looks good. The supporters in the tribune behind him salute another success.
Well, they certainly are aiming up. Catalan, Warrington on that set of 6, they were coming out of the line. They were shorter numbers on this left edge because the players were drawn into what the forwards were doing. And I think you're a bit harsh, Barry. That's got to be a 9.5.
Catalan leading by 12 points to 0. Warrington have had their opportunities, notably when Chris Hill got over, but somehow Morgan Escaray denied him. Coming up next Thursday, always a big contest this. Leeds defending their 100% record against Hull FC. That's Thursday, 7:30, Sky Sports 3. And then we're at Wakefield for Wakefield Wildcats, who've had a great start to the season so far against St Helens. That's Friday, 7:30 on Sky Sports 3. And there's more Catalan action as they take on the Salford Red Devils. That's next Saturday at 3:30 on Sky Sports 4. Catalan here against the Warrington Wolves, leading by 12 points to 0, coming up to the half-hour mark. Henderson, Giroud. Kevin Penny again having to scamper across and retrieve that ball, and then runs across the field, makes a bit of land inland before straightening up.
Bill, it was a tired defensive set from Warrington. You could see Benny Westwood struggling to get back, and there was a number of times that the third marker that was in on the tackle, they weren't getting back, they weren't getting set. The way that Catalan are playing this game and the speed again, look at the mistake again from Warrington. They shift it to the left edge to Vince Duport.
Duport with the strength, and Duport with another Catalan try. Will this one go upstairs? The referee Ben Thaler checks with his officials. No need for that. And the Warrington Wolves look at themselves, look at each other. How on earth did Catalan end up in that position?
Well, it's the mistakes that they're making, and again, whenever there's a free play, Catalan are one of those sides that they don't just want to kick the ball to the corner. The handoff from Vince Duport, it's the big see you later. He's a big, strong, powerful man on Gary Wheeler. Gary Wheeler just plants his feet. He needed to hit him with absolutely everything he had. It still might not have been good enough, but you plant your feet against a big, powerful man like Vince Duport, you're going to come off second best.
2 tries in the space of a couple of minutes for the Catalan Dragons. And no wonder it's thumbs up from Jérôme Guisset, once of Warrington, because Catalan are 16-0 up with the kick to come, and Warrington, to a large extent, have only got themselves to blame.
Mistakes in key parts and key areas of the field could be costly, but that's where you need to be on red alert. Certainly the way that Tony Smith's teams play. They use the ball, they pass it, they test the defences of their opposition, but you've got to be prepared to defend your mistakes. And that's a great point you make about planting the feet after the goal. I'll try and explain that to the viewers.
Giroud, 100% record so far in this one. He's on target again. He's brought his green kicking boots with him. Scott Giroud.
And as we look here, Gary Wheeler plants his feet. He has them in a straight line, which means almost like a tree felling. He has no strength, like a boxer stance. If it's one behind the other, as tackle technique, any coach, any junior will be told to do. Have one foot behind the other, then you're a little bit strong, you can absorb that power. And unfortunately, Gary Wheeler, who's a much better defender than that, will be disappointed with that effort.
Well, Warrington have got to try and dig themselves out of the hole here now, because they trail by 18 points to 0, half an hour gone. Julien Bousquet on the field to add even more grunt to a pretty grunty Catalan side, and that's without the gruntmeister himself, Olivier Ellimer, who grunted a bit too much last time out.
Well, they're just struggling. They're just relentless in the go forward. They've got a very smart hooker in Ian Henderson. He knows when it's time to keep it tight. He knows the men who to target. The men who are doing this tackle after tackle, they find it very tough then to do the right things when they're in defence. Again, a big, powerful run from Garcia.
Former Avignon player Benjamin Garcia. Giroud gets the kick away, and it's gathered by Matty Russell, coming in from the wing. So he is operating on that left flank. Kevin Penny. There's Kevin Penny looking to scoot and make some yards.
Bill, when I talk about Ian Henderson targeting some of the big forwards for Warrington, it's the Warrington's forwards' job now on the third play to bring that ball forward. If they've been defending for long periods, it's very difficult to find the energy from within to do your job.
Roy Asatazi is on the field. He was on the shoulder of Ben Harrison, but Harrison couldn't get the pass away. He's dumped to the ground. Mickey Hyam out there as well. Tony Smith ringing the changes. They need a change of fortune to the Warrington Wolves. That kick straight into the arms of Morgan Escaray, which is not a good move.
Well, they're kicking from centre field. They've got the full-back that's dropped back. They've got both wingers that are dropping back. So it's very hard to find the ground if you're a Warrington player with that kick.
Seb Taylor, well, we've seen him offload recklessly once already in this game, which cost possession. He almost tried it again there. Giroud flings a long ball out to Elliot Whitehead, and Whitehead, always a threat, roaming out there. Giroud. Here is Busquets again. Henderson. Garcia.
That's 5.
That's the 5th tackle.
James, here we are. Hold it here. Need your tidy in that rook, buddy.
Good defensive set so far from the Warrington Wolves, but Giroud this time hoists the kick. First time they've had to contend with one of those. Joel Monaghan comes for it. Now then, he looks to launch the counter. Just ankle tap. I think he's picked up a knock.
Yeah, it looked like it. He did a great job. The ball went up. He speeded towards the area where he thought it was going to be. And there's a clash and collision there with Elliot Whitehead.
And that's that focus I talked about earlier on, when Warrington stick the ball to the corner if they're attacking. He never takes his eye off the ball, and again, he catches the ball, he does everything right. Unfortunately, he can't evade that shot from Elliot Whitehead.
Well, we've just got a break in play, Bill. I think that the bench of Catalan have done a wonderful job when they've come on. Garcia, Busquets, Viteri. They've really added and improved the intensity of the game, and Tony Smith must be looking at his pack of cards now and thinking how he's going to deal and shuffle the pack.
Joel Monaghan still on his haunches. He's in a bit of a drought. The man who was so prolific
4 games
last season. Well, if he doesn't score in this one, it'll be 4 games. 3 games so far, which is a first in his Super League career.
Well, that's a sign of his quality. Absolutely. It's a wonderful take. And that's, again, you need to be brave, show some courage. But the big fella gets up, the captain plays the ball, rolls his sleeves up, and let's get on with it.
Whitehead just after that ball had been played, just checking that his opposite number was all right. His Laithwaite, Kevin Penny out the back. Some tough defence in that sector for the Catalan Dragons.
I'd like to see Kevin Penny in a bit of space, play the long side, and let's see what he can do.
Mickey Hyam trying to spark this Warrington side. Bridge. Long ball finds Atkins, then Atkins on the last, hoists the kick. Escaray underneath it, but looks up, and there they are, right in his face, the Wolves, the chasing Wolves.
It might look a little bit disorganised, that, if you get Ryan Atkins taking the kick, but Warrington choosing to run, bring the defenders up. Ideally, I don't think Ryan Atkins would have put as much height on that if he had his time again, but they need to construct the end of the sets a little bit better. I'm sure when Tony Smith gets them in the changing rooms, he'll say, we need to focus at the end of sets, 5th tackle, finishing the right way.
Giroud just querying that, said it went forward, but it was certainly a stray pass, a communication breakdown. First one, really, for the Catalans.
Well, Ian Henderson, he's caught in 2 minds, because Jason Bettieri, the player who's got the number 24 shirt on for Catalan, he tried to hit that ball flat. Good footwork from Morgan Escaray.
And I think you can see from the face and the eyes of Ian Henderson, as soon as he has that ball in his hands and he's motion to pass it, he's almost trying to wish it back because he knows that the pass isn't on.
Well, it gives Warrington head and feed in Catalan territory. Now then, can they put something together in the closing minutes of this first half? It's been dominated so far by the Catalan Dragons, but if they could get some points on the board before the break, that'd give the Wolves a big lift for the second 40. And here is Hyam. And he's lost the ball. 0, says the referee, and Morgan Escaré doesn't need a second invitation. He's going to try and outflank them, but good cover from the Wolves, but again, squandering possession.
They're just not helping themselves at all. Seem to be gifting the possession to the opposition, and they don't really have to work hard for the ball. Catalan, good offload from Henderson.
Good take from Zeb Tyre. They're keeping it alive. Gone backwards, says the referee, and eventually Giroud flings the pass to Whitehead, and he's another offloader. If you give him the chance, he's looking for. He could have had the penalty as Atkins tried to piggyback him. He's bought his side a bit of time there.
Well, normally you'd have to work really hard to break down Warrington. Normally a very good defensive side, but too many opportunities opening up here for Catalan.
Dupont, the pass goes behind him. Willie Tonga couldn't find his man.
That was a shame that Vincent Dupont, one of the bigger wingers in the league, possibly thinks he needs to be up a little bit flatter. But if he's deeper, he takes that pass. Here's the mistake from Mickey Hyam. And then it's a foot race with Morgan Escaré. Gary Wheeler gets back, just makes that tackle. Bit of attention there from Monaghan as well.
Breather in play. The players, well, probably the warmest day of the season so far, even in Perpignan. Temperature in mid-teens.
Let's bang, guys! Down!
Hardly, I don't think there's much of a wind blowing.
Move in!
And the game being played at a pretty quick pace.
And just 2 penalties in the game as well, and Catalan aren't making the mistake, so the team that's going to be feeling it most is going to be the Warrington Wolves.
Oh, and there's another mistake. Ben Harrison. Is it anxiety, this?
They just look tired. The defensive efforts, they're struggling to turn the Catalan forward pack onto their backs. Ben Harrison, well, the ball goes behind him, to be fair. He's trying to bring it back in to his mid-rift, but still his hands touch the ball, and 9 times out of 10, Ben Harrison catches that ball.
They did have this big game, World Club Series game against St George Illawarra last week. It was a big night. It was a full-on contest, and then they've travelled to southwest France for this one. It's going to have taken something out of them.
Not just physically, but mentally as well, because they've got to back up. They've come to the south of France. They're going to take on a team that's having one of the stars of Super League 2015 making his debut in Todd Carney.
It's a Warrington player down in back play. The Catalan Dragons continue. It's with Benjamin Garcia right in front of those posts. Carney just directing the troops, but it's Henderson, and Henderson's pass goes straight to Gary Wheeler, and Wheeler has knocked it on, says the referee.
Yeah, that's typical of the way the game's going for Warrington. Henderson jumps out from dummy half. He wants, I think it's Pateri in the opposite hole, and Gary Wheeler snatches it.
Could that be a steal? Could that be a steal, Stuart?
Well, it looks like it was a ball steal one-on-one, and Wheeler got the ball back, so perhaps that should have been play on. But we've ended up with a knock-on against Gary Wheeler, and head and feet to Catalan at the scrum.
Jason Pateri certainly seemed to make a play for that.
He made a play for it. He knocked the ball forward, and it's one of the things that's got away from them.
Richard Agar alongside Tony Smith there on the sidelines for the Wolves, and again they've gifted possession, and Warrington Wolves say thanks very much indeed. That's the sort of gift we've been looking for.
Yeah, and maybe the short ball to Big Zeb Taylor. He hit a brilliant line outside of one of the Warrington defenders. I think it was James Laithwaite. That would have been a certain try. Mickey Hyam goes from dummy half. They need some energy in the final minute and a half of this half.
Well, here's Chris Bridge. That was good work from Bridge.
You're right, Tez, they do need energy, but they need some control as well. Talked before in the pre-match about Gareth O'Brien, Wheeler and Russell being runners of the ball. They need some control. Somebody needs to get a hold of the game and dictate what Warrington are doing.
Warrington awarded a penalty, and this is a great opportunity coming up to the last minute of this first 40. Zeb Taylor, I think, with the high shot. Penalty pushes Catalan back towards their own try line. Asatazi.
Who's up with Roy Asatazi? If he gets his arm free, he needs support.
Well, there's an opportunity here now for the Wolves. O'Brien just clinging on is Scott Giroud. O'Brien looking for the penalty. Nah, says Ben Thaler scathingly, but the long pass on. Russell looks in field and says it was there for me. Where was the ball?
Well, everything they seem to be doing at the minute, they're just throwing the ball, expecting the teammate to be there. Matty Russell, you can see him just take the ball in. They've got good field position, yet they seem to be panicking. Whenever the ball goes out of the back, and whether it be Matty Russell or whether it be Kevin Penny that comes out the back, it seems really slow because the edge defenders for Catalan are getting up, putting pressure on them, and they're losing the ball.
So there goes the hooter. That's the last of the action for the first 40 minutes. 18-0 the Catalan Dragons lead against a Warrington Wolves side who have been out of sorts, but there's still time for them to rescue this game. The first half dominated then by the Dragons. We'll be looking at that first half performance when we come back after the break.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
This is not going to be easy, lads. You've got to fight. Put your neck on the line. There'll be big decisions to make. You must be first to score. The right decisions will make all the difference. Here's a great offer from Betfred. Betfred, passionate about rugby league. Keep it fun. Gamble responsibly.
Whoa! Meet Boris! Boris starts an Admiral multi-car policy with just his car, which means he saves on his car insurance now. Ho-ho! Chapuloso! Dad joins the policy later on, and boom! Another multi-car discount! Add more cars, and the whole family could save! Now remember, our multi-car deals aren't on comparison websites. Get your multi-car quotes from Admiral.com.
What's important to you when buying a sofa?
I don't want to wait 3 months for it, because that's ages.
At Sofa Store, we've got sofas available for 14-day delivery. And in the Sofa Store winter sale, this beautiful Heidi sofa is an amazing $499 and can be delivered to your living room in just 2 weeks. The Sofa Store winter sale ends Sunday.
Sarah and her companion here are the same age and love the movies. For some sites, this is enough to make them a match. At eHarmony, however, with our 29 measures of compatibility, we partner people on their behaviours, values, characteristics, and, you know, the stuff that counts. So when you step out on an eHarmony date, you know it'll give you butterflies, not a whole lot of corn. eHarmony.co.uk. Join free today.
I've never been on a business trip before.
What did you do before Apex?
I worked at Foot Locker.
Reason for leaving?
I don't like feet.
They've traveled 5,000 miles.
Flügelschlagen. Why is the GPS in German?
Because we're in Germany.
Falsche Richtung, verdammt! I'm a guest here in your land, but thanks.
And they have one chance.
Can you not say your whole name?
I'm like pancake.
Like breakfast.
It's Greek.
It's delicious.
Yum. To close the deal.
Show the client a good time.
I didn't mean to go that hard.
Unfinished Business in cinemas March 6th.
We undeniable. We undeniable. Undeniable. We undeniable.
My name is Akash Odedra. I am a dancer and choreographer. Growing up, I was always made to feel it was not right to be a dyslexic. I had a lot to say, but it was very difficult to put into words. So I danced stories through my body. Sky Academy's mentorship offers the sense of freedom. Often when you get any financial help, it's quite restricting. But what's really interesting is having a mentor which really nurtures you to flourish and grow.
Sky Academy, helping young people fulfill their potential.
Sky Sports, your home of Super League.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
The Warrington Wolves have won on each of their last 3 League and Cup visits to Perpignan, but at half-time at the Stade Gilbert Brutus in this round 3 Super League game, they trail by 18 points to 0 to the Catalan Dragons. Tonga, Oldfield and Dupont with the tries, all goaled by Scott Giroux in a dominant first half performance. But Barry, you've got to say, Warrington to a certain extent the architects of their own downfall.
Catalan have put in a masterful performance. What they've done is they've showed Warrington how to dictate, dominate and lead a game. Willie Tonga goes in for the first try after good lead-up play. All came off the back of a mistake from Warrington. The half-back that Warrington started the game with, the half-back partnership at O'Brien and Wheeler, just not quite functioning. Here's a no-try. Michael Oldfield doesn't pouch that ball. Todd Carney fails to get to that kick through, and Chris Hill thinks he's over the line, and Morgan Escray does a great job.
Well, that was a brilliant effort from Morgan Escray. He's got one of the biggest men on the pitch running straight at him, but he keeps his nerve, he keeps his focus, turns him over. But again, just Warrington plays shooting out the line. They're caught short on the left edge here because players are overloading where Todd Carney is. So he's having a big influence even when he hasn't got the ball. And when they shift the ball again to the edge, they missed a couple of opportunities in the first half. But that's what we talked about, Gary Wheeler planting his feet. You can't do that. Hit him with absolutely everything. If you hit him, you knock him over the white line, you make him stumble. Maybe Ben Harrison can prevent that try from being scored.
But the Warrington Wolves in that dressing room probably will be saying, look, we've had the opportunities, we can do better than this.
Well, what they'll say is we can't play any worse than that. If we control the ball, if we do the things that we're good at, then we should come out on the right side of the scoreline. It's interesting to note that the assistant coach on the books of the Catalan Dragons now played a big part in the game at the back end of last year where Warrington came here and won. And Michael Monaghan, I'm sure, would have had a good input into the game plan for the Dragons this week.
Well, I think if Warrington are going to get back into this game, they need to do what they did in that game, Barry, because in the second half, the line speed was very good. They need to be patient, they need to be composed, and they need to forget about the scoreline. They need to just come out fired in with all guns.
But at the moment, Catalan very much in control of this lead of 18 points to 0. Sun shining in Perpignan, and it's been a pretty rosy first 40 minutes for the Catalan Dragons. Warrington, they're up to it. Are they up for it? We'll find out after the break.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Get yourself up to £100 in free bets with BetBright. You heard right, up to £100 in free bets with BetBright. Football, horse racing, any sport you want. Get up to £100 in free bets now. Text BET to 67555. That's BET to 67555. With top Premier League action, Cheltenham and key Six Nation encounters for England, all coming up over the next few weeks, text BET to 67555 or go to betbright.com/bet to get up to £100 in free bets now.
Go Argos!
Brilliant moments in Scotland are waiting right now to land on and surface from, end an evening with, and tuck into, to light up your eyes, to race you downhill, and maybe even stop you in your tracks. So don't miss a single one of them. Plan your brilliant break today at visitscotland.com.
With iZettle, you can run your business on a tablet or smartphone and take card payments wherever you are. Sign up now and get a free card reader for your business.
This free Aviva Drive app measures how safely you drive, and you could save £104 on your car insurance, because your price is based not just on who you are, but how you drive. Oh, you wouldn't catch me on one of them things.
Safer drivers save an average of £104 on their car insurance with the free Aviva Drive app.
Jeff and his companion here are the same age and love long walks on the beach. For some sites, this is enough to make them a match. At eHarmony, however, with our 29 measures of compatibility, we partner people on their behaviours, values, characteristics, and, you know, the stuff that counts. So, when you step out on an eHarmony date, you know it'll give you butterflies, not the hump. eHarmony.co.uk. Join free today.
All Papa John's pizzas have a special ingredient you won't find in other pizzas. It's the man himself, Papa John, pizza maker. He wants you to love your pizza, so he's added something new. Introducing Papa's Quality Guarantee. Love your pizza, or we'll deliver another absolutely free. And right now, a large pizza is just $9.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hutch. Oh, Mum, no. Oh, come on, there's no one here.
All right, Mum, get off, get off, get off. What's the first thing that comes into your head?
Finger?
Next thing?
A fudge?
I'm a Potterberry girl, Prash. What do you think?
Can you not practice your perverted deviances in private?
Brand new Stella, Friday at 9 on Sky One HD, or catch up on demand.
Spike. Great catch. Oh, he's gone. It's carnage.
Sky Sports, your home of the Cricket World Cup.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
There's more Super League action coming up on Sky Sports on Thursday when Hull FC host the Leeds Rhinos. 7:30 Sky Sports 3 for what is always one of the big occasions of the season at the KC Stadium. On Friday, Wakefield Wildcats, who've made a flying start to the Super League campaign, host the champion St Helens. 7:30 on Sky Sports 3. And next Saturday, it's the Salford Red Devils' turn to take on the Catalan Dragons at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. That game at 3:30, earlier than originally scheduled, on Sky Sports 4. Well, this weekend in Perpignan, the Catalan Dragons are hosting the Warrington Wolves, and they lead them at the break by 18 points to 0. The Dragons very much having the better of the first half of those tries from Tonga, Oldfield and Dupont, all goaled by Giroud, and Warrington not really, apart from one effort from Chris Hill. It's all been Catalan.
No, they need some masterclass performances in this second half, because you can just see that the way that Catalan are playing, they're playing on the front foot, they're playing very confidently, and they look very hard to stop at the minute.
I think we're in danger of not paying enough credit to Catalan here. We're all a little bit concerned about where Warrington's state of mind is, but Catalan Dragons have been superb. Carney and Giroud pulling all the strings. The forward pack functioning as a unit, and they're just lethal on the edges.
Is there more width to this Catalan side? I mean, we associate Catalan with real middle channel aggression, and that's where their focus is, but they don't seem to be playing that much today.
I associate Catalan with big aggressive forwards, but also with that flair. They like to play the game, they like to offload, they like to play a second phase, and when you bring in players, and you welcome back Scott Giroud and Todd Carney making his debut today, well, that is just going to give them that flair.
Catalan players emerging past that magnificent mural on the wall there that lists all the players who've played for the Catalan side, and somebody once spotted themselves twice on there, and it wasn't somebody who'd come back and played again.
Well, they are a new club, and they're trying to create tradition, and I've no doubt when you walk past some of the great names on the wall, players like Stacey Jones, etc., you look at that and think, yeah, we're part of something pretty special here.
And Todd Carney, who you saw there, will be no doubt engraved into that hoarding to join the list of Catalan players. And on the evidence of the first 40, and I know it is only 40 minutes, but he's slotted in really well.
We haven't seen too much from the genius that is Morgan Escaré. He's been much closely marked so far this season, but I'm sure with great passes and great vision, Todd Carney can thread him through some holes and give him some space, let him use that pace that he's got.
So the second half underway at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Warrington with some work to do in this second half. They had their moments in the first 40 minutes. They made the errors which cost them and were punished by the Catalan side. And presumably Tony Smith will be focusing on cutting out those errors. But already, in their real desire to make an impact, they've come up with a high shot and been penalised.
Well, Roy Assetasi, you can see Garcia, just a late change at the line. I think Roy Assetasi was one of the only, very few of the players to go forward in that first half, but he comes up with a shot like that, gives a penalty away, and these are just cheap meters for Catalan. They don't need any invitations to come down and play in Warrington's half.
Third penalty going in favour of the Catalan Dragons, 2-1 for the Warrington Wolves so far in this game. It's been pretty open. No niggle so far. And Catalan on the attack once more, and great driving run from Busquet, but he's lost the ball. Play on, says the referee. Busquet looked up imploringly at the referee, hoping that he'd have seen a Warrington hand in there. Nothing doing, and the Wolves picked the ball up with Kevin Penny.
It's a desperate shame. Jason Piteri did a no-look pass. Everybody expecting the ball to go out around the back. I've got so much admiration for players like Piteri and Garcia, very short in stature. You see the number 18 for the Catalan Dragons. He must be about 5'7", 5'8", but runs hard, tackles hard, and really challenges defenders to put their bodies in front of him.
Laithwaite running hard for the Warrington Wolves. They were hoping for a good end to the first 40 minutes. It didn't come their way, but could they start the second half on a positive note? Just shake the Catalan Dragons' control of this game. O'Brien, has scored that marvellous try against St George Illawarra Dragons last week, hoists the kick. Escaré comes for it, was taken by Penny before he'd reached terra firma, and it's another penalty for Catalan.
Well, that's all about timing. The opening 2 minutes of the second half, there's 2 penalties that they've given away, and when the opposition's fullback goes up for the ball, you've got to just wait for him to touch the floor before you can effect the tackle. Again, good position for Warrington to defend, but again, cheap meters that they've given away.
But presumably Warrington have come out of the dressing rooms. They're desperate to try and shake Catalan, to make an impact in the second half, and just over-enthusiastic.
Well, there is enthusiasm, but you've got to make sure that you control that enthusiasm and play with your marbles as well, because that's what they just didn't do then.
It doesn't really help when you're...
Not literally throwing them on the grass, like.
Here is
no wonder
Escaré.
Warrington are losing if they're playing with marbles instead of the game.
It's Catalan in possession. Chris Bridge trying to delay things. And Zebtea wrapped up by Monaghan, and they're driving him towards the sidelines. Philbin on the field, young Joe Philbin, 20 years of age. His last appearance was last July against Widnes. And again, Warrington lost. 5th tackle. And Giroud hoists the kick into the middle of the field. Kevin Penny comes for it, claims it, and the Catalan players do wait for him to touch down before they make the tackle.
Well, that's a good positive start to that set, and I suppose you're trying to put yourself in the minds of the Warrington players. How will they change the trend? How will they stop the momentum that Catalan started and finished that first half in? I suppose it's just a case of doing the things properly that are in your control, as Tez has talked about, doing the fundamentals correctly, not giving cheap meters, cheap penalties, making mistakes and missing tackles.
Matty Russell playing the ball, his first appearance of the season, having, and this time it sticks for O'Brien, and O'Brien's got some support, and the support from Wheeler, and Wheeler almost there. He's dragged down just short of the try line. There is Joe Philbin looking for the route that might open it up, and it's opened it up for Giroud, but he's knocked it on, and it's going to be Warrington Wolves head and feed from that knock-on from Scott Giroud.
Well, Michael Oldfield gets back here, comes up with a fabulous tackle on Gary Wheeler, The ball goes left and they just couldn't get any clean passes away. Well, that's good effort. You can see both wingers getting back, showing enough urgency to prevent Warrington. When the defensive line was broken, they didn't give up.
It's a good indication of the energy of the Catalan Dragons. They're obviously line proud with that big duck head at the side of Warrington. You see a little bit of a cramp from Ian Henderson, but they'll be keen to keep that 0 on the side of the Warrington Wolves. It's a good break from Gareth O'Brien, who finds his fellow half-back partner, and even Gary Wheeler thinks, I'll outstretch and try and get it over the line. But there's an old head, Tez, just taking time, letting the clock tick down and getting everybody back in the right place.
Your hairstyle, isn't it?
Only the opposite way around.
More on top
all on the side.
Here's Atkins. Atkins gets the pass away for Joel Monaghan. Joel Monaghan is over. And that breaks the drought, not just for him, but for Warrington. And the Catalan players disputing that, but they're saying there was a forward pass somewhere, but don't know where they saw that.
Well, they needed this try to give them confidence, and you can just hear the sheer speed of Ryan Atkins. When he goes at the line, he pumps that ball, he gets Todd Carney interested, and it's the one-hand offload to Monaghan. That's a nice pick-up, that, because he knew that Zeb Taylor was right in front of him, who was under pressure from the inside defenders.
Well, he's gone the first 3 games of this season without a try. Unheard of for the Warrington Wolves captain, but he's come up with that one. Scott Giroux it was who'd come up with the knock-on, and Warrington capitalised, and that's what they needed at the start of this second half. They also need 2 points from Gareth O'Brien if he can tag him on, and they'll be back in this game. Looking for his second success with the boot this season. He's on target, Gareth O'Brien.
Well, a marvellous piece of skill. Ryan Atkins runs a little bit sideways. Todd Carney's grasping at him, and it's a nice offload. I wonder how Liam Finn is feeling this morning after last night's no try, when he did something similar, and Ryan Ball's try was denied, but no denying that try. Bobbles on the floor, bit of a bounce. Monaghan picks it up, and the captain thinks and tries to inspire his teammates. So where we go.
More inspiration. It's Joe Philbin on the break, and Philbin takes them deep into Catalan territory. Great run from the restart.
Well, the young lad leading the way, and you can see that Chris Bridge, he thought that Ben Pomeroy wasn't square. Is this a penalty? Yes, it is. So a good break from the kickoff from Joe Philbin. And the penalty on the back of that.
And suddenly it's looking promising for the Wolves. Ball steal, I think, is the indication for that. Bousquet, the culprit. Well, Catalan were able to profit from Warrington's indiscipline in the first half. Can Warrington return the favour here? Here's Roy Asatazi, short ball to Laithwaite.
It was a good challenge from Whitehead on Laithwaite.
Gareth O'Brien, great footwork from O'Brien. He's over the try line, he's driven back. Good defence from the Catalan Dragons, but the threat hasn't gone away yet. Hyam will try his luck. He's driven back. 4 tackles gone, and suddenly, for the first time this game, Catalan really desperately defending. Wheeler, Penny, ankle tap on Kevin Penny, and he was through if they hadn't got to him. He felt that as well, did the fullback. They're not done yet. Little kick from O'Brien, and Vincent Dupont will struggle to get out of his own in-goal area there. So good work from the Warrington Wolves.
Well, it's good numbers. They're playing the numbers game. There's a lot of Catalan defenders defending around the ruck, and that's probably because they're looking up at what Mickey Hyam's doing. They've got so many threats, Warrington. Well, this is a good tackle on Kevin Penny, because for one moment you thought he was going to score that try, but Willie Tonga comes up with that last-ditch effort on Penny. But good phase of play from Warrington here.
18-6 the scoreline in Perpignan. And Scott Giroux with the goal line dropout. I think that's the first of the game. And Ben rumbles it back towards the Catalan try line. Louis Anderson with the tackle.
Wait!
Now they go to their left-hand side. And Catalan having to defend as O'Brien comes across the field. Wheeler, quick hands, good hands, and here's Philbin again.
Showing up well, the young fella, made a break, busting tackles.
Hyam, they've got the numbers here. Oh, the ball is batted down. And Laurent Fraser-New has shaken the head. You saw Michael Monaghan alongside him. That ball has come up for Gary Wheeler. Well, while we were looking at Michael Monaghan and Laurent Fraser-New, play was continuing. And now Ben Thaler has an opportunity, or has the task of trying to unravel that. And we didn't get a complete look at that, Stuart, so I'm not exactly sure what happened when we were looking at the coach's box.
Well, I think he's trying to play an advantage. There was certainly, Willie Tonga was certainly offside following the breakdown in play, and it's all about what happens after that. He wants to see whether there's a knock-on by Warrington anywhere in this. Well, that's the knock-on by Duport, and Willie Tonga is in front.
A hard place. Does he give a penalty away?
Yeah, well, he sort of plays the ball and expects the referee to blow his whistle, but Ben holds off on it, and there's no knock-on there by Warrington. This will be a try. A good advantage played by the referee there. Just held off the whistle enough to allow the Warrington players to take advantage. Is there a knock-on here by Warrington? And that's the knock-on by Duport. Tonga's in an offside position. He touches the ball. Wheeler picks it up cleanly. This is a try.
This is well done. Well done from Gary Wheeler. Play to the referee's whistle. A couple of the Catalan players stopped, thinking that the ref was going to blow up. Hold the play.
Ben Thaler just explaining to Ian Henderson that he doesn't automatically have to award the penalty.
No, he's playing advantage. You know, it's been a law in rugby league since 1895, the advantage.
And has it gone Warrington's way? It has. The try, a real opportunist effort from Gary Wheeler. While others stood and waited, Wheeler capitalised. And it's quick-fire tries from the Warrington Wolves, which have shaken the Catalan Dragons' hold on this game. And Gareth O'Brien has already got the kicking tee out and lined up for the conversion. And if he can land this, then the Warrington Wolves really are back in the hunt.
Well, it's game on. And all this pressure, all this field position came from the run from the kickoff from Warrington's first try from Joe Philbin. Showed up some good touches, landing on his front, good footwork at the line. And now Catalan are the team that look under pressure.
O'Brien successful with his first kick of this game. This one a trickier one, but it's bang on target. And suddenly some of the swagger has gone out of the Catalan Dragons.
Well, momentum is really difficult to get in rugby league, but it's very easy to lose. And perhaps the best thing for the Wolves, from their perspective, was the half-time whistle. They got into the changing rooms, they had a bit of a chat, a bit of a change of one or two things, maybe some attitudinal things, maybe some structural things. However, they've come out in the second half, scored 2 tries, and we've got a ball game now, Bill.
Philbin, he's not going to get away with it a second time. Duport and Willie Tonga made sure of that, but that has got the Warrington Wolves tails up. They've come from 18-0 down to 18-12 on the back of those second half tries from Joel Monaghan and Gary Wheeler, both of them goal by Gareth O'Brien. And look at this, they're just, the shackles are off now, the pressure is lifted. There's confidence coming back into the Warrington camp.
But don't be too confident as well, and look at your outcomes to your set to 6. You get rewarded for running hard and playing that ball quick. Chris Hill just trying to do that as he goes into the heart of the Catalan defence.
Catalan really haven't had a good spell of possession so far in this second half. It's been very much Warrington's half so far. Wheeler, the try scorer, plays the ball. Good deep kick, but Oldfield well positioned to field that for the Catalan Dragons, and then runs into the Warrington defenders waiting for him.
Well, they won't be happy where that ball landed up, straight at Oldfield's feet. Need to make sure they kick it into space, whether it goes behind the full-back or the wingers. And is this a penalty for a ball steal?
Yes, says the referee.
Well, these are the little 1%ers that you can't do. when you're working extra hard, you've got them where you want them, and then you give that penalty away. And all that hard work in the opening 11 minutes of this second half, and it's just little one lapse in concentration.
Catalan then, first set of 6 in the Warrington half for some considerable time. Can they find a response to this Warrington fight back? Short pass finds Anthony Maria, it was. Now here's Louis Anderson trying to battle his way past, but that's good defence, and it's Mickey Hyam, I think, leading the way. Henderson, he'll try himself, and they were offside with the Warrington Wolves, I think.
I think it's a high tackle on Henderson there. Mickey Hyam just going over the top of the shoulder. Just grabbing around the neck, and that's what the penalty's for.
Straight in front of the referee as well. Ben Thaler had no option there but to give that penalty away.
Mickey Hyam just discussing that one with the referee.
What are you doing?
Are they going to go for 2? Yes, Scott Giroux just coming into the picture there, pointing to the posts. Well,
and that's an indication of momentum as well. I think I think that Catalan just want to slow the game down a little bit. I think what they want to do is just take that momentum away from the Warrington Wolves, possibly holding the ball and taking a bit of energy out of them. Might have done the same, but in the opinion of Scott Giroux, his is the one that counts. We'll take 2, we'll take a minute off the clock, receive the ball and try and knock out our first attacking set of 6.
So Giroux with this penalty, just put a bit more daylight between these two sides. He's on target. Over 600 points for the Catalan Dragons now, Scott Giroux, and that's 2 more on this occasion.
I think Warrington will be relieved that Catalan took the 2 points. They get away from the try line now. They've got a set of 6 defensively. Scott Giroux was happy with knocking them 2 points over. So now Warrington need to score more than once to win this game. Well, we've seen what they can do in a couple of minutes early in this second half. So they have got the players that can score tries. They have got the players who, when they're on, they are absolutely on.
It's close the last time these two sides met at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Warrington winning 26-24. This could turn out to be just as tight. 20 points to 12. A first half that really belonged to the Catalan Dragons, but much more even so far in this second 40 minutes of what we've had of it. Louis Anderson. Referee Thaler trying to keep the game flowing as Anthony Maria called into the side late on because Remy Casti wasn't fit to play. I thought he was a bit optimistic given that they'd said he'd broken a bone in his hand a couple of weeks ago, but they did name him in their squad. Henderson, Giroux, Lima. Challenge Cup winner with Wigan in 2011, Jeff Lima. As Giroux thumps a good deep kick downfield, but Penny well positioned underneath it and sets Matty Russell free. And Russell across the field. Joel Monaghan, and Monaghan cuts back in field, but Todd Carney makes the tackle.
And Warrington now will want those quick play the balls. They've got Mickey Hyam on, they've got Darryl Clark on, so they'll be going to be looking for speed around the ruck area.
Penny, good weaving run, almost through Kevin Penny. Again, it was an ankle tap that denied him, as earlier on in this half. Matty Russell. Darryl Clark back on, clapping his hands. Russell struggling to get to his feet. Here is Chris Hill now, denied a try in the first half. Darryl Clark, Jeff Lima all over him, and Anthony Maria as well.
Well, no fancy footwork from Hill. Goes into contact, looks to offload the ball. Ashton Sims on now. 2 starting prop forwards, trying to lead from the front.
Fifth tackle and a good set so far from the Warrington Wolves. The chip kink comes across, Monaghan bats it down, or Bridge can't take it. The ball's still loose and the referee says we'll take the first knock on.
Quality, and again a useful tool for the Warrington side. Monaghan, Joel, jumps up, instead of batting it back like a volleyball, instead of spiking it, what he does is he catches it and tries to place it into the path of Chris Bridge. It's a little bit too low. Chris Bridge can't bend that old back to get down and pick it back up, but not a bad place to hand over.
But it could have been a free play because there wasn't a knock-on by the Catalan players. But at least they've got possession and they're starting from a similar position.
Here is Henderson. Elliot Whitehead, good evasive work from the former Bradford man, and still managing to make some yards. He's still going, Whitehead, and Pomeroy was in attendance. Henderson. Here is Todd Carney. Carney gets the pass away. Pomeroy it was who took it under pressure.
Well, Warrington up the tempo in defence. They're really rushing this Catalan side.
Fifth tackle, line here, boys.
That's the fifth tackle.
Hold it, lads, hold!
And Jeff Lima goes to ground in possession for the Catalan Dragons. Henderson's pass reaches Giroud. Giroud puts the kick in, but clutched out of the air by Joel Monaghan.
And that was good pressure from Chris Hill as well. He was the air defender, the tightest man to the ruck. He got off the line and he put pressure on Giroud, and then Joel Monaghan, in his urgency to play the ball, he earns his side a penalty.
No, he's not diving forward like your
the kit man will be disappointed. One of the shirts from Warrington is ripped, and Darryl Clark was motioning over.
Yeah, boys, come on, Seb.
There you go. That's for the ladies, Bill.
Clark getting back into action.
No, Seb, get off him, one.
Here is Joe Philbin, who's had a great second half. Really set the ball rolling with that run.
Yeah, it was fabulous. Just 3 penalties in the first half, 6 in this half. So the speed has definitely changed.
With speed from the Warrington Wolves now. O'Brien, Atkins steps back in field. Whitehead and Pomeroy with the tackle. Quick play the ball, it's a good one. Matty Russell, he's got fast feet, he's got a low level, and he's lost the ball. He went for the stretched out for the line, and Pomeroy brings it away. Here is Oldfield now, and Oldfield skips infield. Oldfield has got Escaré outside him. Escaré is going to take on Kevin Penny, and it's back to Oldfield. This is great stuff from the Catalan Dragons. Oldfield eventually takes the tackle.
Well, Kevin Penny comes up with that tackle, but he bought himself some time because he didn't commit. It was a 2-1 in Catalan's favour.
It was on the free play, and they made the most of it. As Zeb Teya will go for the line, and what a culmination that is to a cracking piece of play from the Catalan Dragons, virtually from one end of the field to the other. Oldfield and Escaré, the architects, and Zeb Teya using his strength and the footwork we know him for to get over the line.
Well, Matty Russell looking to exploit some space. He tries to ground the ball, he couldn't do so, and then Morgan Escaré is the first to pounce on it. As Catalans, well, they just go and play upfield. Michael Oldfield, as Kevin Penny, bought some time. He doesn't commit. He comes up with the tackle on Michael Oldfield. You can still see him chasing hard, but they can't get back in numbers to prevent Zeb Teya from going over the line. Scott Giroud, he goes wide of the rookie, throws a perfect pass to Zeb Teya. And Wheeler and Monaghan, well, and they watch that back, they won't be happy with their efforts going in to try and stop Zeb Teya, the big Cook Island international.
Great finish from Zeb Teya, who was the Dragons Player of the Year in 2014. Really popular with the Dragons supporters.
I would say as well, Bill, that is the sort of play that the free play law was brought in for. To see a team go from one end to the other with a bit of freedom to play a bit, and it's resulted in a try for Catalan as a result.
Well, they certainly made the most of it, the Catalan Dragons there, with the freedom they had. Scott Giroud from wide out, probably his most difficult conversion attempt, and nothing is too difficult for Scott Giroud on this occasion.
It's actually a great point, that, Stuart, and too many teams catch the ball and they don't truly value that extra play. They catch the ball pick it up, regather it, and they think, well, we'll just welly it downfield and see what happens. But Catalan goes straight on the attack, and I'm a huge admirer of Zebtaya. So big, so powerful, so hard-working. You could probably make mitigation with a little bit of fatigue from the Warrington defenders, but it's a great finish from Catalan.
26-12. That's taken a bit of the wind out of the Warrington sails, because it really was devastating stuff from the Catalan Dragons. Had Warrington Wolves chasing back, trying to deny them, and Catalan have restored some of their advantage through that Giro penalty and then that converted try from Zebtaya.
Well, when Catalans break you, they look to move you around as well. It's not just going from the ruck. If they get you around the ruck area, they'll look to shift you, because that's where the number's going in. Here's Tokani.
Carney, an outrageous dummy from him. He's got some support. It's that Mantea again. He will get back-to-back tries. And suddenly the game is going away from the Warrington Wolves. They got it back within sight, but two quick-fire tries from the Catalan Dragons have given the French side a grip on this game again. And Todd Carney, well, we've waited for him to make his debut in Super League, and it is turning out to be some debut.
Well, he'll thank Scott Giroud. Just look at the subtle little skip, the footwork to come back inside, draws the defender, puts Todd Carney in the space, and a good, nice canter for the big fellow, puts it down under the black dot. I'm sure we'll get another look at Scott Giroud, how he skips back inside, commits the defenders, and Todd Carney and Scott Giroud are all over this game, as well as Zebtaya.
Smiles from Todd Carney, and enjoying life in the southwest of France. Temperature's getting warmer, sun is out, nice place to be. Well, it is if you're a Catalan Dragon supporter. Not such good news if you're a Warrington Wolves follower, because Giroud, from bang in front of the posts, extends the Dragons' advantage, and Warrington are back where they started.
Well, Todd Carney plays with his instincts, and he could see that Chris Bridge was looking at Zebtaya, which left young Joe Philbin isolated against a very quick halfback in Todd Carney. And as soon as he goes through, it's just a simple 2-on-1 with Kevin Penny, and someone with that much composure that Todd Carney's got, he wasn't going to make a mistake there.
Warrington restart. They've got to start. They've got to climb the hill all over again. They've got a foothold. They've got their way back into the game, and Zebtaya is just taking it away from them.
Well, it's amazing how quick a game can change. And again, just look how quick they're getting out from dummy half. There's 3 Warrington men in this tackle. And then the third man is still not back, which was Chris Bridge. So they're going to be short. They're going to be short of numbers somewhere on the pitch. They're committing defenders, but they're not getting set.
3 years since the Catalan Dragons have beaten the Warrington Wolves, and that was an emphatic win, that 44-16 win at Easter. And at the moment, we're on course for another pretty emphatic win. Into the last quarter of the game. Still time for Warrington to get back into this one, but is it a weary-looking Warrington side? It was a big effort at the start of the second half, wasn't it?
Well,
that's a good run from Matty Russell.
Sorry, Bill, that's not a weary run, is it? It's just what they can do off the back of some of these wins that they get in the first 1, 2 or 3 tackles. But at the minute, because they're looking at a scoreboard which sees them 20 points behind, it's going to be very difficult for them.
It's been an improved performance from the Warrington Wolves in this second half. And there is still time as Atkins goes on a run. Here's Darryl Clark. Clark manages to pop a pass to Ashton Sims, and Sims finds Joel Monaghan, who was hunting in the middle of the field. Referees halted play. There's a player down.
Yeah, I think there's a late hit. I think the touch judge is coming on from the side to report something. It could be a late hit on Ashton Sims after he offloaded the ball. Jeff Lima. I think he put himself in the way, turned his shoulder on him, and there's the collision.
Barry and Terry looking appalled at that.
It was a late hit.
Would the subtext be, if you're going to make it late, you might as well make it worthwhile?
Yes.
It was late. It was probably a lazy effort from Lima to come up with a shot like that.
Not that you're condoning.
No, not at all.
Wait here, lads. Wait.
Well, it was late. It is a penalty, and it's an opportunity for the Warrington Wolves to exploit that indiscipline from Jeff Lima.
Matty, wait. Tony, go.
Here is O'Brien. Finds Chris Hill, who had that try disallowed in the first half.
Fine, lads. I know it's fine. Go.
Short side. Ashton Sims was hoping to offload that.
He had good shape on the right edge. It's not up for a one-up drive there, close to the line.
Here is Gary Wheeler. Wheeler finds Philbin, and he will go over. It's been a great second half performance from Joe Philbin, and he's earned that try. The 20-year-old who hasn't appeared in the first team since last July.
Well, when they have the players, that's what I said, the play previous, whether they were setting up for this, but they still had the shape. And a couple of players before, and the ball goes out. Gary Wheeler, well, he pulls out Willie Tonga. He isolates him, and as soon as he passes the ball, you can see a number of the Catalan players shooting in because they're shorter numbers. Well, Joe Philbin has come up with some very good touches, hasn't he? And has he got them back into this game?
And they're not going away, the Warrington Wolves. Joe Philbin, who was man of the match in the under-19s grand final defeat by Wigan last year. There's Stefan Ratchford just going through the shot there, still out with this shoulder injury. They missed him against St George Illawarra. They're missing him against Catalan Dragons, but they're hanging on. Every point crucial. And O'Brien adds two more.
Well, it's a big day for young Joe Philbin, who gets on the edge, finds himself in space. You still have to finish tries like that. We watched in the first half, Chris Hill was unable, under the attention of Morgan Escaré, to get the ball down, but good on you. Gets a try, stops the momentum as Thomas Bosch watches on.
Out injured Thomas Bosch, as is Remy Casti, Elmer and Pelissier, the injured players. (32-18) the scoreline at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Well, Warrington came up with back-to-back tries earlier in this second half. If they could repeat that, then they'd give themselves a chance. Darrell Clark.
Well, they've got just 13 minutes. If there's any time in a game which is to up the speed, up your aggression, but make sure it's controlled, it's now.
Atkins trying to do that, but was bundled up. Darrell Clark, good sniping run from him. Characteristic, weaving, always looking Clark. Kevin Penny. Here is Chris Hill now. O'Brien stretches for that. Wheeler shapes to kick, then the ball reaches Joel Monaghan on the bounce, and he comes infield. That's the fifth.
This has got to go high. Compete for the ball.
Wheeler does just that. Referee telling players they're offside. Escaré underneath it, and just gathers it and gets away from Russell and gets away from Hill.
He's so elusive, isn't he, at the back? Not only does he pouch the ball, but he beats 1, 2, 3 men with his footwork and speed.
Oldfield in off his wing to make some yards in the middle of the field, and then a touch of cramp from him.
Get the ball, somebody else. Ian, play ball. Ian.
Another one going down with cramp, and of course, Catalan were not involved in the World Cup Series last week, so they'll be feeling the effects. And only 2 games in, if you get a break, it doesn't do your energy system any good at all. They want constant workload to condition the body to the stresses and levels that they put themselves through week in, week out. But it's been an outstanding performance by the Catalan Dragons. Again, we might be a little bit guilty of focusing too much on Warrington Wolves here. Catalan have been really good in all the important areas, and Henderson's been good for his team as well.
Yeah, ran straight into Ashton Sims there, but back quickly on his feet. What a good kick from Scott Giroud, this stage of the game.
And that seems to be the story of the game. Whenever Catalans during the opening 68 minutes they've kicked on the front foot because they've been winning that last play. They win that last play, there's no pressure on Scott Giroud.
Time off.
And that's a perfect kick.
And Tez, those 3 games last weekend, the NRL sides, the Australian sides, they kicked really well, and that was the one facet of the game where I was watching all 3 games thinking, if we learn any lessons, if we want to move forward as Super League and improve and really challenge the NRL teams next year, we have to address that. We have to get better at the last tackle options, and certainly when Warrington look at this game, they'll feel they can tidy that up.
Penalty goes Warrington Wolves' way.
They just trapped the ball at the back of the scrum, and Catalan fell for it. It's become quite a ploy for some of the Super League teams now, just trapping it in. They've got to trap it in the second row, because if it goes to loose forward, the ball's out of the scrum and they can come out.
Well, they needed that penalty. If they've got any chance of winning this game, they needed that penalty to get up this end.
Ben Westwood now. Over 400 games in Super League since making his debut for Wakefield in 1999. Benny Westwood. Was that forward?
It was pretty close, wasn't it?
Ready, Jace. Ready. Go.
Clark. Ashton Sims.
Move, Greg! Come on!
Greg Muniz, Catalan captain, with the tackle. O'Brien. Wheeler. Bridge.
5, Ian, get off him!
Was looking for an offload there, Chris Bridge. Henderson with the tackle. Penny on the last now. Little grubber kick from Wheeler. It's going to be too strong.
I think he was going for the post on that occasion. They didn't really challenge Catalans then.
Ready,
they had the correct amount of defenders then to attack us. Then when Gary Wheeler gets the ball, he puts it into the middle. A couple of lads chasing up for Warrington. He's going for that big post pad, hopefully looking for that ricochet.
Bateri.
One, move, Phil!
I saw Tony Smith watching from the sidelines in his 6th full season in charge of the Wolves. Tony Smith and his team strongly fancied to make another tilt for the grand final. Almost got there last year. So too did this Catalan Dragons side. So these two could figure in the shake-up at the end of the season. Catalan finished 7th, of course, last season. Did it the hard way. They'll be hoping that they can be in that top 4.
Two very good sides, and as we said at the start of the show, both have added some real quality, real class. So they'll be looking to get there this year. Well, Ben Pomeroy, was that a little... was he trying to trick the opposition to get something in his eye?
I'm not sure that were on purpose, Tez.
That is incredible.
I think you're giving him too much credit.
Brilliant piece of acting.
I've never seen that play before. That's
Kevin
a new
Penny.
one to me.
Kevin Penny trying to get out of trouble, but he can't do that. Good kick.
Well, it worked, Tez.
Well, there you go. Just look at the amount of Catalans players there. Is it Jason Bettieri?
Yeah.
Come on, calm down.
Jason, get away!
He's a fiery character.
Man-inspired Jason Bateri. Nobody else was particularly aerated there, were they?
Well, Kevin Penny, as I said, he's one of those enthusiastic players. He's just high fives. He does everything that he can to lift his teammates' spirits. And then obviously something's happened here where he's upset Jason Bettieri.
I think it's Elliot Whitehead who won't release his ankles, and when he stands up, Bateri wants to fight Kevin Penny. Kevin Penny's not known as an aggressive player, but he nearly threw a punch last week against St George. And he's looking the same here.
You can't really blame him after what Eta Nabuli almost did to him.
Just have a word with Jason, because that's who caused the incident. All right, the tempo's been really good. We'll have a word with him.
Let's have a look with Pomeroy. Is this the special move? Oh,
there's a fly. It's a fly.
Oh no, that's what he might be.
It was a fly.
The old trick shot.
That's probably in the playbook, isn't it?
Or is he saluting? Is it a dummy salute?
Oh, it's probably a fly. It's warmed up. It's warmed up in Perpignan. There's probably all sorts of bugs flying around.
Take him low, Ben.
Well, it's Catalan in possession after all that schmozzle.
Move, Chris. Ash, get out. Benny.
And Catalan looking to close this game out now. They've had to contend with a much improved Warrington performance in the second half. which threatened to haul the game back for the Wolves, but Zebtai, the man in possession, has taken it away from them again with those 2 tries. Willie Tonga playing the ball, scorer of a try in the first 40 minutes. Duro, Carney, bit of trickery from him, the kick from Escaray. Tackle count continues, it wasn't played at, says the referee. Welcome to Super League.
You still fancy Catalans for another try here.
Here is Jason Botteri now.
All the decision makers talking here.
Carney, look at him, hands waving. So Henderson goes the other direction. Oldfield will climb for this. Oldfield has got it, and he's got it down. And that's the game that wraps, the try that wraps this game up for the Catalan Dragons. No need for a video ref referral, says Ben Thaler. And Michael Oldfield, as he did so many times last season, showing his aerial prowess with this one.
Well, it's always dangerous when you see the brains trust in Scott Giroux, Todd Carney and Ian Henderson all talking, all bouncing. They want the ball, they want to take control of the game. And you can see that the neat kick exactly in the pocket where Scott Giroux's aiming for, and Michael Oldfield, well, he just times that jump to perfection, comes down with the ball and scores the try.
36-18 scoreline, kick to come. Warrington players looking dejected now. It's been a big effort from them in the second half to try and close the gap on the Catalan Dragons, but the Dragons have gone away at the end here.
When Tony Smith would have looked at the fixture list, would have looked at who they were playing after St George, one team he wouldn't have wanted to play is Catalan's Dragons. He wouldn't have wanted to get on a plane, go to the south of France. We've got Todd Carney there making his debut. He was always going to be that inspirational figure that was going to lift the side, and he certainly has done that.
Well, the former Canberra, Sydney Rooster and Cronulla Shark, Todd Carney, look at him there in that huddle while they're waiting for this kick from Scott Giroux. He's laying down the law. He's telling them what's going to happen.
Well, he's done that all the way through his career. He's been dominant. He'll obviously have to get used to the language and communicating in French to the players around him, but for me this has been a game of 2 halves. 6 and 7, Giroux and Carney.
And Giroux has been immaculate with the boot. He hasn't missed. And there's another success from him.
Well, this is Catalan's default play. We'll get as close as we can to the 10-metre line. We'll get into a central point, then I've got 2 options either side. There's the 6 on one side, the 7 on the other. It's a wonderful take from Michael Oldfield. We saw him do that numerous times last year.
And he's out-jumped the full-back there in Matty Russell because he's coming onto the ball. It's always easier to catch the ball when you're running onto the ball at pace. You can get higher.
2 tries for Oldfield, 2 for Zebtai in this Catalan Dragons performance. It's going to lift them up the table. Monaghan made a play for that ball.
Yeah, he was short on numbers. Joel Monaghan. He knew that he had to either come up with that ball or prevent Catalans from getting it to the edge. Otherwise, it could have been another try.
And Warrington old boy Michael Monaghan enjoying this. Don't think he'll be doing it at his old club's expense after this game.
Not a bad person to have as your number 2, Michael Monaghan.
It's not, especially when you think how much knowledge he would have on these players. He'd know their habits, he'd know what makes them tick, what they like, what they don't like, and they've used that information, I'm sure, in the build-up to today's game. But the Catalan players deserve all the credit. And it's been a great performance from the Dragons.
It's been a better second half from Warrington.
It has. They've showed character because they've needed to.
There was probably a 20-minute spell, wasn't there, at the start of the second half, where they really stepped up, they really took it to Catalans. But unfortunately, there's been periods in this game where they've just looked that touch tired.
And they trail 38-18 as we go into the last 5 minutes. The kick from Giroux finds touch. It's Carney, in fact, with the boot.
Well, again, just let the clock tick down. You know, that mission accomplished. They've scored the points. They've come up with the 2 points for the league ladder. And it's so good for Lauren Fraser to have that man Scott Giroux back, along with the partnership with Todd Carney. I'm sure we're going to be speaking about them all the time this year, Bill.
Well, will we be speaking about them next weekend when we see Catalan Dragons take on the Salford Red Devils in another home game at the Stade Gilbert Brutus? That's one for Kevin Penny to chase, and Penny will give it his all. Oh, and he used his basketball skills to try and get to that one.
Do you know, I'm just putting myself in the mind of the forward pack from Warrington, and they see the kick going over the line, and it is a period of the game where they need to take a bit of a risk and try things because time's ticking, but your shoulders would slump and you just think, here we go again.
Some great tries scored in this game. In particular, Zeb Tyers first from that, virtually from their own try line. It was their own try line when they picked that ball up, the Catalan Dragons.
Well, we featured him at the beginning of the show, and as I said then, he is the enforcer, but he's an enforcer that can play as well, and he looks like he wants to play. Every time he puts on a Catalan shirt, he's the man that leads from the front.
They get the penalty to the Catalan Dragons. Mickey Hyam, wry smile from him towards the referee, from the 34-year-old, approaching the record for substitutes appearances, 157 subs appearances, Mickey Hyam.
Well, 7 penalties to 5 in favour of Catalan Dragons. You see that you only give penalties away when you feel it under pressure, when you're trying to make sure that your teammates are set back 10 metres away from the play of the ball. You're trying to buy that bit of time.
Off the ball, Ash. Go.
And they seem to have been on the back foot for the majority of this game, Warrington.
Jason Bateri, captain France in the European Championships last year. Short ball. Oof. Zeb Tyre. I wonder if he's thinking, still time. Hat-trick.
Another good line for him, and again you can see Mickey Hyam, the third man, struggling to get back.
Giroud's kick. Whitehead thundering after that one, but Penny with the retrieve, and Oldfield with the tackle. Kevin Penny felt that anguish on his face as he went down.
Just gets trapped underneath, doesn't he, Michael Oldfield? But he's up, he's moving, so there's good signs for Kevin Penny.
You okay, Ben?
Here's Matty Russell. Coming up to the last minute of this game in Perpignan then. And Warrington's great run in southwest France coming to an end. Catalan, who've been on the receiving end from the Wolves in the last few years, turning the tables in this one and in pretty emphatic fashion. Here's Laithwaite. Wheeler. And O'Brien's kick. And Morgan Escaray will return this ball. And there's so much threat in this Catalan side. I mean, you talk about Escaray as being a threat, but it's across the board when you've got the likes of Zeb Taylor and now Todd Carney in the mix.
It is.
Where do you start if you're plotting against him?
From one side to the other, probably. When you upset Catalan and you get under the skin, that's when they're a tough side to play against. You know they're going to be physical. It's all gone their way, Bill.
Certainly has. Willie Tonga gets an embrace from Mickey Hyam, because these are older adversaries, Warrington and the Catalan Dragons. 38-18 the final score. Todd Carney enjoying his debut in Super League for the Catalan Dragons in an emphatic victory. There you go, confirmation. 2 for Zeb Taylor, 2 for Michael Oldfield, Tonga Duport, the others, and Scott Giroud to rub salt into Warrington's wounds. Did not miss a kick. That second half fight back, Monaghan, Wheeler, Philbin with the tries, all gold by Gareth O'Brien, briefly gave Warrington some hope. But the first half, Warrington were miles behind, weren't they?
It was all Catalan Dragons in the first half. It began with that wonderful try from Willie Tonga, his first for the club. A show and go to his winger. Puts the ball down relatively easily, improving the position for his kicker. And Willie Tonga had a great afternoon. Here's the no try. Michael Oldfield regathers the loose pass, dives in the corner, but it's rightly scrubbed off. Todd Carney can't get near that kick. And then this was a nice bit of defence. from Morgan Escaré will be delighted with that. Big man on little man on big man. Can't get the ball down. And a couple of magnificent tries. Really enjoyed this one. Nice dive in the corner from Michael Oldfield. Show inside from one of the star performers, Scott Giroux, creating the space and overlap. And then the last try of the half was from the big fella on the wing. Gary Wheeler, not the best attempt to tackle him. Came off the back of a mistake from Warrington. And Vincent Duport got the final try of the first half.
Well, Warrington had won on each of their last 3 League and Cup visits to the Stade Gilbert Brutus, but that scoreline tells you just how emphatic Catalan's win was in the end. But there was a time at the start of the second half, they were trailing 18-0, as you can see, Warrington, but they got themselves back into it.
Well, they'd had a bit of direction from the coach, Tony Smith, in the dressing rooms, and 18 points behind. And, you know, you look at Warrington over the years, and they can score tries from anywhere, and they come out with the right attitude. You get the likes of Ryan Atkins running onto the ball. You get Joel Monaghan, whether you kick the ball in the air or whether you just give him a bit of space. Joel Monaghan is a player who always leads from the front. And you just think that it wasn't to be today. And there was times when they looked short of ideas. They looked as though they didn't have much energy. They were losing the ruck all the time as Gary Wheeler goes over for a try. And you just got to say that for Tony Smith, it's back to the drawing board, because next week's another game. But they'll go home, they'll lick the wounds, because then as we go close here with Matty Russell, then Morgan Escaré picks the ball up. He goes the other end of the park. And all of a sudden, that Catalans, when you talk about teams that playing on the front foot, they have this free play. It's not just a kick and hope that one of your teammates is going to be there. They control passes. They're very methodical in what they're doing. They get the ball into the middle, and it's not about panicking. It's not about just rushing that play, because as soon as Oldfield gets up, he plays the ball. He knows that they've got good shape, they've got good width from the pass from Scott Giroux, and the effort there from Wheeler and Monaghan, well, they won't be wanting to see that again. But Zeb Taylor, he was a thorn in the side of Warrington all afternoon, and they're just one of those sides here, and as we see it from another angle, you don't want to be seeing Zeb Taylor running at you so close to the line. And then we've got Zeb Taylor's second try. He gets through the line, and what's he got to do? He's got to find himself space, because if he pushes up with someone who has got the skills like Todd Carney, the creative skills of Todd Carney, the dangerous halfback that he is, he's targeting Philbin, a big man, because Chris Bridge was a bit too wide. You always know that the Cook Islanders going to be there to support. He really loves playing the game.
And here's the try from young Joe Philbin. He certainly had a big afternoon, and he'll enjoy that. And probably one of the few positives as today has been the performance from young Joe Philbin. And it was the try that is pretty much standard if you're a Catalan supporter. Big kick to the corner, right on the button. Wonderful take, wonderful catch, and a try for Catalan.
And the try that put the icing on the cake for the Catalan Dragons with that 38-18 win. Scott Giroux, it has to be said, immaculate with his goal kicking as well. Well, we've got rugby union coming up on Sky Sports 1 right now, in fact, as the Blue Bulls take on the Sharks. And then a host of Super League games. Hull FC take on the Leeds Rhinos. That's 7:30 Sky Sports 3 next Thursday for that one. And then on Friday, can the Wakefield Wildcats maintain their impressive start to the season? Well, they host the champions, St Helens. That's 7:30 on Sky Sports 3. And next Saturday, well, it's the Salford Red Devils' turn to try and tame the Catalan Dragons. It's the Dragons against the Red Devils, 3:30. Earlier than originally scheduled, the kickoff in that one. Sky Sports 4 for Catalan against Salford. We've seen Catalan dispose of the challenge of the Warrington Wolves and end their 100% record at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Todd Carney has arrived. Look out, Super League.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
We undeniable. We undeniable. We undeniable. We undeniable.
With iZettle, you can run your business on a tablet or smartphone and take card payments wherever you are. Sign up now and get a free card reader for your business.
At Wickes, the 50% off kitchen unit sale now has an extra 10% off sale prices until Sunday, 1st of March. Visit one of our showrooms today.
I've used Wellman for 10 years and I believe it's helped keep me on top form. But because men and women are different, they have different vitamin needs. So there's Wellman for him and Wellwoman for her. They're the UK's favourite tailored vitamins for men and women.
Each provides over 20 micronutrients and vitamins, including iron, which helps to reduce tiredness and fatigue.
From the award-winning Vitabiotics range, the science of healthy living.
Also available, Wellman and Wellwoman great tasting vitamin drinks.
Whoa! Big Boris! Boris starts an Admiral multi-car policy with just his car, which means he saves on his car insurance now. Ho-ho! Chapuloso! Dad joins the policy later on, and boom! Another multi-car discount! Add more cars, and the whole family could save! Now remember, our multi-car deals aren't on comparison websites. Get your multi-car quotes from Admiral.com.
A major trauma case needs a trauma team leader.
Somebody coming in, isn't he here yet? It's good to see you.
I've practiced all over the world. In the forces and civilian hospitals, I specialize in critical injuries.
She's going down.
Yeah, pressure.
We're losing her.
Brand new Critical continues Tuesday at 9 on Sky One, or catch up now on demand.
You're watching Sky Sports 3, your home of football. Carp Academy is sponsored by Dialer.
Oh, look who it is. It's only Dave Levy, the boxer. Oosh! It's going down. What's happening? Yeah, that's right, dog. Oh, yeah. Oh. Word. Welcome. This is the Carp Academy 2014, and as you can see, it's absolutely scorchio. We are back for the 4th year running at Manor Farm Fishing in Biggleswade. 30 students raring to go for another year, but this year we're not just going to talk about the tactics, we're going to look at exactly why these people love carp fishing so much. They've been off to a flyer, the carp are having it off the top, they're having it off the bottom, so without further ado, I'm going to fire up this beast and I'm going to get round and see what these lads and lasses are up to. Here we go. Whoa! Oh! Woo!
Well, this is our first one for Carp Academy to Craig. We're just getting a bivvy set up and realised there was some fish out there on the surface. So instead of sitting down and getting